Just that, Tracy Johnson, Eugene Morton, coming to you from the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. And Eugene, this is kind of strange here because as we are coming on here, Trae Young has finally been traded out of Atlanta. You know, and I think it was probably time for that, to be honest with you. He was gone for about 22 games or so there. And in that time, I think that was from roughly October to December. No, I think 13-9 or so without him.
Mm-hmm.
A little winning streak. Then he comes back and we go on a losing streak with him. We lose another 5 games. We go 0-5 with him back in the lineup.
Yep.
And then he gets injured.
Yep.
He has a $49 million player option. I don't know if we were ever going to get to bridging the gap here. It seemed to be a contractual gap.
Yep.
From both parties. You know, he wanted to go to the Wizards, which is, I guess he liked the young team there. And I don't know. We got McCollum and Kispert. Kispert shoot threes. McCollum's expiring contract. This is like a deal just for an expiring contract is what it really looks like. Trying to get money was what this really looks like to me.
Correct. Yep.
They just want Trae Young off the books. That's
Correct.
what this looks like, right? This looks like not necessarily get anybody back, but Trae Young off the books. And we'll talk to Anthony Davis here and a little bit later in the show. And this is what this could be leading to, and it's very depressing for me. And we'll talk about that. I don't really want to talk about it in 2 segments, so we'll talk about it in a second segment. We'll discuss that. But what do you think about what we got back for Trae? Because when you look at a player of Trae's caliber, if you had said at the beginning of the season that, man, Trae's gonna get traded, right? You're like, hey, Trae's gonna get traded. And you're like, all right, man, let's look at and see what that deal is. And you look at the deal and it's McCollum and Kispert. You say, man, how far the mighty have fallen.
Right.
Because you got to think about it. He comes into the league same time as Luka.
Yeah.
And Luka was traded for another Hall of Famer. And people still thought that trade sucks. I still think the trade sucks.
Oh, yeah.
They thought he was traded for another Hall of Famer, and they still think the trade sucks.
Right.
As much as I love McCollum, I don't know. You know, he's not really on 80s level. And if you were to put Luka out there, the trade, the compensation back would look a lot more than just McCollum. And you couldn't get Luka from McCollum and Kispert.
Right. But you're comparing 2 different players.
Right?
But you're comparing to kind of 2 different players. I mean,
100%. But the thing is, it's just look at the different trajectories coming in. A lot of them were compared to be the same, and for years on end, they were looking at them squinting. People were squinting at Trae and Luka and saying, "Hey, these guys might be neck and neck here." And I think Luka pulled away when he got into the finals for sure, and as it proved to be a better player, as a lot of us thought he was from the very beginning.
Right.
But Trae was no scrub, and I was thinking that we would get more than this for him, but what it looks to be is just a strategy of just getting rid of contract. What's your thoughts on that?
No, you nailed it. I mean, and plus it doesn't help that we said this in the past, man. If you leave a job, if you're out for a little bit, you don't want your team to perform better. And they performed 100% better when he was not there. The defensive numbers were better. The metrics were better on that side of it. They had a winning record. He comes back. He brought something that we missed with a Hawks team, right? He brought that fire when he in that Knicks series. But that's what he's going to have. That's his legacy. The Knicks series is it. And then he took him to the East. He went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, we were there for that game.
Yeah, I still think it's a fluke. Right, I still think it was a fluke that they beat Philly, but whatever, they beat him. But it's just he's not a winning player, hands down. And if this is what it takes to get him off your books and start over, and you trade, I mean, McCollum's like he at least knows how to blend into teams. He knows how to win, and Trae is not that guy. And I hope he can be that. I hope he can go to Washington, which I don't think he will. I think he's going to be the same person because they have a young team. They have a lot of cap space. So, I mean, we'll see if they're going to make the same mistake and give him a lot of money. But it's one of those things. It's if he would just reduce the points and think about more assists. I mean, I've heard the Steve Nash compared with him. If he could be that, if he could just hone into that, but I don't know what it is, why he thinks he's just this. He thinks he's a number one. That's the problem. And he's not a number one.
Can he be at number one on a championship team?
It would take for him to change. And I just feel like when you're here,
in what ways?
Just be a winning player. Be playoff ball.
His change.
And I know it's easy to say.
A winning player,
but it's because he has those moments where you're like, he gets it, where it's not all about him, and he gets.
Is that passing the ball more? You think?
Yes, passing the ball more. Yeah,
he has high assists usually. Eugene, he's a pretty high assist guy.
He does have high assists when it doesn't matter. That's the issue. If you watch his game, that's your problem. He has those kind of Russell Westbrook moments where, yes, that's a great. He's a stat pad person, but he's just the record speaks for itself. He is a 500 or he's either a 500 or right below 500 player. So it speaks for itself right there. And and there's always that lingering articles about him that nobody wants to play with him. Even, like current teammates, past teammates, don't like him. So
really, is that so? Has that been substantiated?
Yeah, yes. And here's the thing: wait, it's gonna come. The hit piece is coming. The Atlantic had one.
And he is a sub 500 player, by the way. The Hawks, now that his tenure is over, he would have been about 45% winning percentage.
Yeah, so he's not, and that's a.
But it's a team stat. I can't necessarily blame it all on Trae, right? But it's something that you kind of carry when you are the number one guy, though. It's kind of when you're the number one guy on team, and you're considered the number one guy on team. You get too much of the blame, and you get too much of the credit. It's like a quarterback on the NFL.
Right. But they've done so many reworks with the roster to put it around him, and again, like you said, I'm not blaming all of this on him, but it's like they move coaches around for him, they move players around for him, and it's like, again, at some point, it's got to be about you. Because again, sometimes you got to take a little accountability. I mean, he's been the one that says he shows up late, he leaves after practice, he didn't stay. I mean. And I'm gonna cross sports. I'm gonna go to another sport. But I don't know if you watched the. I'm pretty sure you watched Steelers Ravens game, but they're talking about. But they were talking about Aaron Rodgers has his receivers, like they hang out after practice. He comes.
Yeah, he said about 4 nights a week. He said something like that.
4 nights a week. They come over to his house. Everyone on the. That to me is somebody who goes, look, I am not where I'm at where I can be, but at least I'm going to talk to my guy and we're going to get on the same page together. That's a winner. That's a winning formula. And I know he's had stories where he's brought the young guys in, but I feel like it's more like a show versus like I've only heard all negative things about Aaron Rodgers. I think the first like real positive thing, and I was like, well, that's amazing. Like doesn't have to do it. He's going.
Aaron Rodgers' teammates seems to like him too. From
right,
not going too far off the subject here, but his teammates seem to have always seen them like him where he's going.
Absolutely,
and that can make a difference. I think in any sport, if your teammates like you, it's gonna make a difference, man.
Right. That's like Luka's teammates liked him. I mean, other than I think him and Porzingis were like the only clash, but like the city loved him. And no, I mean, I think the city loved Trae, but it was always like I don't know. I was never.
The winning would have helped Trae a long way in the city, to be honest with you. Like the city, you can love somebody, and we loved Trae because of the heights he took us to in the Eastern Conference, and it was an amazing time. And Trae's not a bad player. I think Trae he can contribute to a championship team. I just don't know if he can be the number one guy, but I think he can be a championship player. I think he's a championship caliber player. It's just that when you're not winning, it's hard to really wrap your arms all the way around some of these players. Like I like you, bro, but we suck while you're here. So unfortunately, I can't love you. You know what I mean? I can't really embrace you like I would like to embrace you because we lose all the time. You can only like the person. I think that's reserved. That kind of love is usually just reserved for the team, right? You have teams that lose all the time and the fans still show up. But it's hard to have that kind of love for players when you're just losing all the time, especially when you're not exactly viewed as favorable in the eyes of your teammates. You don't really get the best stories coming out about you all the time.
Absolutely. And then also we'll bring it back full circle. Look at Steph Curry. Steph Curry came in and kind of had the same body size of Trae. And Trae's the same size as he was he's pretty much, he has not changed his, Steph Curry is never going to win Defensive Player of the Year ever. He's never going to make it all the defensive team, but he bulked up. He made himself, bigger. He hit the gym and he perfected like the little things. And that's the thing. Trae, listen, you go watch him, you're going to be awed. He's going to make some great passes. He's going to make great shots. But when it comes to winning decisions, I'm never going to trust him. That's the issue.
Never trust him. Goodness.
No, he hasn't proved to us that we can trust him. He's been the same guy all year in and year out. He hasn't changed. He hasn't he still comes down the court and there's time left. There's enough time on the shot clock to get a better shot. And what does he do? He throws up the the Steph Curry jumper because he thinks he can do it. And again, sometimes it goes in. It looks great. It gets a Sports Center highlight, and you're, oh wow, it's great. But man, there's so many times it just looks so bad. And I just think and this team it's a young team. It's a good team, and it's built around defense. And he's a liability. Full stop. He's a liability. At least CJ is not. Again, you're not gonna think CJ is gonna be defense.
Is CJ even gonna be here? He's gonna be here for like an hour and a half. How many years does CJ have left on his contract? I need to go look that up.
Well, it's an expired contract, so he'll be.
Yeah, I was gonna say the point is for CJ not to be here. Is he even coming? Has that been established? Is he even getting on a plane and play this year?
Play with the Hawks or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't heard anything different where he won't.
It's not just to say that he would be just so repulsed by the idea, but sometimes if you know that a player is just going to be leaving anyway, but there's a significant amount of time left in the season, so I wouldn't view that as much as if this happened coming out of the trade deadline or something like that, or if it was contentious. I'm not sure. And CJ seems like a team player. I'm not saying that he wouldn't play, but if he didn't, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't be shocking.
Yeah, no, I would.
And even if he does, Eugene, even if he does, he's not for long. You know what I mean? It seems like why fall in love with a 4 to 5 month at best situation. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. And
maybe he resigns for a lower amount if he really likes it. If he plays for that 5 months and he just really likes it, he really does with the kids and stuff like that. Maybe he, comes back at a lower cost, but I don't know, man.